In the heart of a small town, where sunshine poured like warm honey and laughter danced in the air, stood a charming diner called the Happy Plate. It was a place of comfort, filled with the rich scent of pancakes, home fries, and freshly brewed coffee. On most days, families filled the booths, and the sound of cheerful chatter echoed off the walls. However, on this particular day, 3 quiet children nestled together in one corner booth, neatly separated from the bustling energy around them. These kids were an unusual sight at the diner. Each bore an aura of calmness that set them apart from the lively atmosphere. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more. And tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. The youngest, a small girl named Lucy, wore round glasses that sat precariously on her nose. Her soft brown hair was tied in 2 neat pigtails, and she clutched a stuffed bunny close to her chest as if it were her fortress against the world. Next to her sat Max, a boy with tousled blonde hair and bright blue eyes that sparkled with curiosity, but often remained hidden behind his long lashes. He was lost in his thoughts, occasionally glancing at his older sister. Finally, at the end of the table was Emma, the oldest of the 3. She was tall for her age and had a gentle smile that warmed anyone who met her gaze. Emma liked to read thick books filled with adventures. Today she had her nose buried in one about faraway kingdoms. While other children giggled and shouted across their tables, these 3 children spoke only to each other in hushed tones. It wasn't that they didn't like fun. Rather, they found joy in simple observations and quiet conversations. Sometimes they would simply sit and watch the world flutter around them, like butterflies dancing from flower to flower. The waitress, a kind-hearted woman named Anna, noticed them every time she passed by their booth. With curls bouncing around her face and a warm apron tied snugly around her waist, she made it her mission to bring joy, not just with food, but with words too. She would lean down to their level and ask softly about what they were reading or what flavor of ice cream they dreamed of savoring next. "Hi there, kids. How are my favorite customers today?" She greeted them one morning, her voice like a melody breaking through their quiet world. Lucy looked up from her book and smiled shyly. "We're good," she whispered back, adjusting her glasses and glancing at Max for help. Max finally broke his silence. "Can we have pancakes with strawberries, please?" he asked earnestly. The mention of fresh strawberries always brought life into his eyes. "Absolutely. I'll make sure to pile them high," Anna replied cheerfully as she jotted down their order. The children's faces lit up at the thought of sweet fruit drizzled in syrup. Emma loved how Anna always whisked away any gloomy clouds hanging over their conversations. She appreciated how Anna never seemed bothered by their calm nature. Instead, it appeared as though she found it refreshing. As Anna made her way to the kitchen, Emma felt an amusing thought bubble up in her mind. Wouldn't it be great if Anna knew about all their secret adventures? They concocted tales of dragons flying over rivers and treasure buried beneath old trees during their visits to the park after school. However, as blissful moments unfolded inside the Happy Plate, outside loomed an entirely different tale. A tale shrouded in shadows and whispers that would soon intersect with theirs. Just beyond the diner's well-worn windows was an eerie alleyway linked to stories told in hushed voices, the kind shared around crackling campfires or whispered during sleepovers when courage waned. This alley was rumored to be home to creatures of the night, a place where darkness reigned supreme. As if drawn by an unseen thread, all three children turned in unison toward the glass door, just as a gust of wind rattled its frame. Their eyes widened momentarily at the sudden rush of chill that swept through the diner. For a fleeting second, even Anna paused at the cash register with a puzzled frown on her face. "What was that?" Lucy murmured, clutching her bunny tighter. Max peeked over his shoulder, but didn't say a word. His knuckles were ghostly pale as he gripped the edge of the table. Emma leaned closer to them, whispering reassurances, even though she felt an unsettling tingle dance along her spine. Together, they carried on their small chatter about mythical creatures and epic quests to push away their unease. But the air felt different now, heavy yet electric, as though secrets coiled like snakes in corners waiting for just the right moment to strike. Faint sounds floated through the diner, a melody softer than music, but more ominous than silence itself. And then there came a presence that seemed to shift the very atmosphere within the happy plate, causing shadows to dip and swirl outside as if gathering for some expected arrival. An arrival no one could predict, yet everyone could feel creeping closer. The soft hum of conversation in the happy plate was a warm blanket around the three children as they waited for their pancakes. Despite the hints of unease that had danced through the air moments before, Emma, Max, and Lucy found comfort in their surroundings, especially in Anna, the waitress who had a knack for brightening even the dullest of days. As Anna moved effortlessly from table to table, her laughter rang like cheerful bells. She treated every customer with warmth and care. But she had a special place in her heart for the trio tucked away in their cozy booth. The children adored her because she truly listened when they spoke, and each visit felt like a little celebration just waiting to happen. "Here you go," Anna announced as she approached, their booth again, balancing a towering stack of pancakes dotted with glistening strawberries. "These are just for you three. I hope you're ready for this yummy feast." Emma's eyes sparkled as she beheld the mountain of pancakes before them. "Wow, that looks amazing," she exclaimed, her voice brightening the atmosphere instantly. Lucy's hands clapped together with delight as Max gazed wide-eyed at the delicious sight. "Thank you so much, Anna," he said earnestly, his cheeks blossoming with happiness at their favorite meal. Seeing their joy was like sunshine lighting up a rainbow for Anna. She placed the plates down carefully and leaned closer to their booth. "I put extra strawberries on top just for you guys," she whispered conspiratorially. "I thought you'd like that." The sincerity in her voice made Lucy smile even wider behind her round glasses. Anna's simple act of kindness made them feel special, giving each child a sense of belonging that was sometimes hard to find in other places. They were cherished here, not just as customers, but as friends who were seen and heard. As they dug into their pancakes, syrup drizzling like sweet secrets over fluffy towers stacked high on their plates, Max couldn't help but share another thought with Anna. "We've been imagining our own stories," he said between bites. "Lucas rides a dragon, and Emma is, a knight who saves the day." "Oh, really? I'd love to hear more about it," Anna encouraged, pulling up a chair to sit beside them briefly while they enjoyed their breakfast. Emma cleared her throat dramatically and began recounting one of their newly invented adventures. Once upon a time, in a land where shadows played tricks on people, lived Queen Emma. They took turns sharing bits about magical creatures and mysterious lands where anything was possible. Their excitement bubbled forth as they painted vivid images with words. It was as if they were giving life to the stories hidden within their hearts. Anna interjected every now and then with questions or fun ideas of her own. How about adding a talking squirrel or an enchanted garden? The laughter was infectious as they collaborated on bringing each new character into existence. But as delightful as these moments were, there lingered that peculiar feeling just outside the diner. A feeling neither Anna nor the children could shake entirely, even amid happy chatter and joyful banter, when Max suggested that perhaps there should be a turncoat dragon, a creature who appears scared but turns out to be brave. Anna's smile widened even more gleefully. Still, her instincts hinted at something unusual brewing outside those cozy glass windows. Just then, an unexpected chill swept through the diner again. The kind colder than ice cream stored too long in the freezer. A harbinger that something wasn't quite right. Did we all feel that? Lucy squeaked softly as she glanced towards the door where flickering shadows flickered tantalizingly against its panels. "I think it's just drafty today," whispered Emma more confidently than she felt, not wanting to dampen the cheerful vibes any further. Yet curiosity piqued in all three children. "Maybe it's just another strange story coming our way." Max chimed in bravely while clearing some syrup from his mouth with swift fingers. Anna noticed their hesitation and quickly jumped into action with her contagious energy once again. "What if we name our imaginary friends after different fruits?" She laughed lightly. It generated an instant giggle fest among them. "Banana butterfly," Emma declared enthusiastically while trying not to giggle too hard. Lucy added with glee, "Candy cucumber." Warmed by laughter and securely surrounded by friends, they forged ahead together, noticing how small troubles melted away like butter on hot pancakes while sharing exuberant ideas abloom here within this diner veil, except for those lurking shadows just beyond their macaroon kingdom awaiting exposure. But Anna sprinkled kindness everywhere inside the happy plate, creating spaces filled with happiness even amidst whispers fluttering ominously nearby. And during shared moments of laughter, the magic around remained tangible still, as the cheerful chatter continued within the happy plate. An undercurrent of tension rippled through the air, barely noticeable to the laughing children, but palpable to Anna. Though her instincts told her something was amiss, she kept her focus on the trio at their booth, savoring their joyful presence amidst the growing unease. Outside, the light of the late morning sun flickered strangely, cast in sharp contrast to the brilliant blue sky above. It was as if shadows were swirling in a dance of their own, creeping close to the diner's windows and stealing warmth from the day. Emma, Max, and Lucy occasionally glanced up from their pancakes, sensing an odd chill that was coiling around them like fog curling around tree branches. The delightful laughter inside felt like a fragile barrier against an unsettled world outside. "Did you hear that strange sound?" whispered Lucy, her wide eyes darting to the door as she clutched her bunny tightly. The plush toy offered her a semblance of solace, its fabric reassuring against her racing heart. Max nodded, his curiosity piqued. "It sounded like something moving," he replied quietly, his voice filled with both wonder and concern. He sat upright in his seat, looking around as if expecting to see an intruder in their midst. Emma leaned closer to her siblings, attempting to dispel their worries with a brave face. "It's probably just the wind," she suggested, though even she couldn't shake the feeling of foreboding that had settled in her tummy like a stone. Anna noticed their hushed conversation and sensed their unease. With a gentle smile, she leaned over and said, "Sometimes a little bit of mystery can make things exciting. Why don't we think up some cool stories that fit our spooky vibe?" Her words were designed to lift spirits, hoping to anchor them firmly in imagination rather than fear. The children brightened momentarily at her suggestion, eager to escape into their world of fantasy. Max took the lead once more. What if there's a secret door in the diner that leads to another land? He proposed. His eyes sparkled with excitement as he envisioned adventures beyond their booth. Yes, and maybe it takes us to a kingdom ruled by magical creatures. Lucy chimed in, her voice growing more animated. She began to forget about the unsettling atmosphere outside as they wove tales together like an intricate tapestry. Or even better, Emma added with a glint in her eye. What if the door opens up to a place where everyone is friendly, but there's one big scary dragon that needs our help? Just as they began to expand on their fantastical ideas, another chill swept through the diner, this one more intense than before, carrying whispers that danced through the air like leaves caught in a gust of wind. Anna's gaze shifted toward the front door as she hesitated for just a moment. The hairs on the back of her neck stood up. Something about this new presence felt different. Instinctively, she approached the window and peeked outside. A shadow stood just beyond reach, a figure cloaked in darkness, shifting slightly as if unsure whether to step into the light or remain hidden. Her breath caught in her throat as she tried to discern more details amidst the swirling shadows. "Anna?" Emma's voice broke through her focus, laced with worry. "Is everything okay?" With a swift smile meant to reassure them, Anna turned back toward the children, who now watched her with eager anticipation. "Just checking on some clouds," she replied lightly, attempting to soothe their curiosity without sharing too much. Sometimes the weather can be surprising. However, inside her heart echoed a warning. She couldn't shake the feeling that something ominous lingered just beyond their cozy sanctuary. Shadows seemed to dance closer now, flitting at the edges of her vision and teasing at the edges of her thoughts. Meanwhile, Max shivered slightly as he continued his cautious observation of the outside world through the glass. "What if that shadow is watching us?" he asked softly, his imagination firing up as fears crept into his mind. Lucy hugged her bunny tighter again and looked up at Anna with trust illuminating her eyes, even amidst uncertainty. "Can you keep us safe?" she asked innocently. "Of course I can," Anna promised fervently, bringing a smile back to her face. "You three are my favorite little adventurers. Nothing is going to happen while you're here." But deep down, she felt a stirring concern. Though she tried to sound confident for their sake, a heavy weight settled heavily on her chest. Suddenly, amid their chatter and laughter, an unexpected gust of wind whooshed through an open window at the far end of the diner. It swirled around them like playful spirits before dissipating into nothingness. Yet that small burst felt charged with energy, an energy that hinted at impending arrival. Something was about to happen. As they continued spinning tales under Anna's guiding warmth and laughter, together they unknowingly prepared themselves for whatever awaited them outside. Curious spirits readying for an encounter unlike any they had ever imagined. The cheerful chatter in the happy plate began to fade, swallowed by an eerie silence that fell upon the diner like a heavy fog. The children, still buzzing with imaginative plans for their stories, sensed a shift in the atmosphere. Moments ago, they had been wrapped in their tales of bravery and adventure. But now, an unsettling energy crackled in the air around them. Suddenly, the door creaked open with a long, haunting groan that echoed through the diner. The happiness that had filled the space seemed to evaporate, as shadows gathered near the entrance like powerful gusts of wind, clinging to something dark and sinister outside. Emma glanced at Anna and then caught sight of something standing outside. A tall figure cloaked in darkness. The moment felt surreal, as though time had slowed down and every heartbeat crescendoed louder in her ears. "Look," she whispered urgently, pointing toward the door. Max's eyes went wide. "Who is that?" he breathed, clutching Lucy's arm tightly. She pressed her bunny close to her chest as they all turned toward the door. The figure stepped forward into the light, filtering through the diner's windows, revealing a tall man with striking features. A chiseled jawline, sharp cheekbones, and long hair that flowed like liquid night around his shoulders. He wore a dark cloak that whispered against the floor as he moved, casting ominous shadows all around him. As he entered the happy plate, an icy chill swept through the diner once again, making everyone shiver involuntarily despite being comfortably seated indoors. The air became thick with anticipation as Anna froze momentarily behind the counter. Her instincts screamed at her that this was no ordinary patron. "Good evening," his voice rang out, smooth yet laced with an unsettling charm that sent shivers down Emma's spine. "I am here to seek an audience." His eyes gleamed, reflecting a haunting mix of intrigue and intentions unknown. Are you lost?" Emma dared to ask while trying to sound braver than she felt. Her heart raced wildly as curiosity waged war against fear. "Not lost," he replied softly, yet it felt like his words wrapped around them like tendrils of shadow. "I am simply searching for something rather unique, something worth my while." Lucy peered up from behind her bunny, eyes wide as saucers. "What do you want?" she whispered, fearfully but bravely enough to challenge this stranger. With a flicker of amusement dancing across his lips, he stepped further into their light. Every movement exuded elegance and dread simultaneously, a contrast difficult to grasp fully within their childlike minds. "Why don't you tell me your names first?" His gaze fell upon each child, one by one. Lucy held tightly to her bunny. Max squeezed his sister's arm tighter while looking at Emma for guidance. "I'm Emma," she finally managed to say, even though every inch of her body screamed for her to run away from this mysterious person. "Max," he muttered hesitantly, while Lucy simply nodded beside him. He smiled wider now. It was a strange smile filled with mystery, neither welcoming nor threatening, but rather unnervingly captivating. Children's names. So sweet and innocent, he mused thoughtfully before adding almost playfully. And such fascinating imaginations, too. Anna stepped forward cautiously from behind the counter as bravery overcame caution inside her heart. "Who are you?" she demanded firmly but kindly, while attempting to mask her unease for the sake of her young customers shielded behind her presence. "I am known as Draven," he announced dramatically with a flourish of his cloak, each swish sending chills through everyone present, as if echoes of ancient tales resonated deep within their souls. "Some call me the Vampire King." Gasps filled the air from Lucy and Max, as their eyes widened even more at hearing such a grand title. One they had only encountered before, in stories crafted by their own imaginations, or perhaps whispered during sleepovers, filled with laughter under blankets. "But don't be frightened," Draven declared unexpectedly, as if sensing their fears curling tightly behind bravado masks sewn from confusion and curiosity alike. "I come not for harm, but rather companionship." "What do you mean?" Emma found herself asking, despite wanting desperately not to engage any further with someone so fantastical yet unnerving all at once. Draven leaned close, eyes glimmering under shadowy brows, that odd smile still lingering on his lips. But there was kindness hidden within them too. Something about him beckoned silently into uncharted territories ready for exploration. Even amidst lingering doubts hanging heavily over hearts aflutter under bright diner lights, I have heard whispers, he began slowly, as if only wanting them all captivated by every choice of word, ebbing softly into wider realms. All swirling dreams, intermingling together against a canvas painted with twilight colors, bursting alive right before their eyes, waiting just beneath these moments, daring themselves to bloom wild. With curious wonder, hovering amidst questions, trailing along invisible paths, waiting yet unseen. Something between stark reality clashing against phrase woven together, remained poised on this brink, ready for whatever adventure awaited next. The atmosphere in the happy plate hung thick with a mix of curiosity and unease as the vampire king, Draven, stood before the children and Anna. His presence was both mesmerizing and alarming. While he spoke softly, his words dripped with an otherworldly charm that sent shivers down Emma's spine. Max's hands trembled slightly on the table as he looked from Anna to Draven. Lucy pressed her bunny tighter to her chest, every instinct warning her to be on guard against this imposing figure. Their vibrant spirits dimmed in the face of his dark elegance. Yet Draven held their attention like a spell, leaving them wide-eyed and breathless. Anna stepped protectively in front of the children, her heart pounding as she tried to appear calm. The warmth she had offered before waned beneath the weight of uncertainty, replaced by a wary resolve. "What do you want with them?" she asked, taking a deep breath to steady herself. Her voice wavered only slightly with concern for her young friends. Draven regarded Anna with an amused yet intrigued expression. "Ah, dear waitress," he replied smoothly. "I mean no harm and desire, no fright in your cozy diner. I am simply inviting these young adventurers into a tale far beyond their own imaginations." "But why here?" Emma questioned bravely, fighting back her fear. "And can we trust you?" With a subtle bow of his head, Draven said, "Trust is earned over time and through stories shared." His gaze swept back to the children, eyes gleaming deeply like shimmering gems, inviting exploration. "But I can assure you that I come seeking friendship and not malice." Yet his words didn't entirely quell Lucy's fears. She sensed an underlying tension, something shadowy flickering like candlelight on the edge of darkened thoughts that whispered caution into her young heart. "Are there monsters where you come from?" Max ventured tentatively, emboldened by Anna's protective aura around him, but still apprehensive about what this flamboyant stranger might mean for their peaceful day at the happy plate. "Monsters? There are many kinds," Draven mused thoughtfully, raising an eyebrow as though considering whether they would be frightened or fascinated by what lay beyond their mundane realm. "But all creatures have their stories woven into shadows, just as they dance through light. In my land lies mystery, a swirling dance of darkness and wonder." Gathering courage from one another and anchored by Anna's presence behind them, Emma and Max leaned closer, drawn to this strange world portrayed through his enchanting words despite brimming unease clinging still tightly at bay. "Tell us more," Emma urged, with a spark of curiosity igniting warmth bravely within her chest. Visions of adventure twinkling against shadows brewing just outside their bubble. "All right then," he began smoothly again after deliberately surveying each child's eager faces. Lucy peeked from behind her bunny even wider now as promise unfurled before them. "Far away from here lies hidden realms where magic flourishes among fantastical beings, where colors breathe brightly even under moonlit nights." In that moment, however, just as he began crafting vivid tales of enchanted kingdoms, the air stirred once more within the happy plate, bringing an unsettling shift back underfoot, prompting everyone present to glance toward both the door and window simultaneously. Outside echoed hushed whispers amidst fleeting shadows, reminiscent of something skimming just out of sight. a powerful rush coursing through lingering mystery reshaped their stories into vibrant tangles yet untouched. What was that? Lucy squeaked, finally breaking the sudden tension mounting rapidly forward. Emerald eyes darting nervously toward Draven, while also searching for answers in Anna, who stood steadfast behind them. Anna felt it too, the pulse quickening as a rush of instinct bloomed fierce beneath threatening panic emerging once more. Yet deftly she concealed it softly, wearing protective strength around those younger souls, longing courage encasing all residing rooms within their heart-shaped worlds, nestled against walls filled warm memories, crafted through joys surpassing today alone. It's probably nothing, she said gently but subtly, guiding hands towards bright rose petals blossoming within dangerous storms ahead. Curious, still remember not every tale spun into life must emerge without challenges, lingering close beneath shadows, prowled near-taught experiences, each embroidered secret, long concealed, easily unmasked, waiting patiently for just one moment when woven bonds ripple wide, enlisting grand adventures sprouting alongside frights unknown, until finally meaning ground met courage. Placed, gently followed trailing sparks, lighting hidden paths, leading forth beautifully illustrated beyond hopes, caught inside unspoken doubts. And so together, they prepared for whatever might emerge next, weaving hopes, fearless toward light, envisioned brightly persisting amid darkness. Yet somehow a live hunger, never shared ever before, taking flight aloft, giving room alongside welcome encounters, engaged untraveled settings waiting ripe beyond tales told forth. Inviting magical joins surfaced around, all woven neatly spent through fleeting moments, dancing, timeless, hardly reflected. But drifting nonetheless, surging. And adventures awaited as they transformed, gradually played across reflections, brighter still, longing perpetually stronger than today, unfolding layered truths, awaiting resurrection anew. The air in the happy plate was thick with a mixture of excitement and uncertainty, as Draven, the Vampire King, continued to engage the children with his mesmerizing tales. Emma leaned forward, her curiosity outweighing her lingering fears, and asked, "What kind of adventures do you have in your world?" Draven smiled, his sharp features casting an intriguing shadow on his face. "Adventures abound in my land," he replied, his voice smooth as silk. "There are enchanted forests where trees whisper secrets and rivers that flow with starlight. Creatures of all shapes and sizes roam freely, some friendly, some not so much. It is a place where every night offers a new story waiting to unfold." Max's eyes widened as he hung on every word. "Have you ever fought a monster?" he asked eagerly. Draven chuckled softly. It was an oddly comforting sound amidst the tension that lingered in the air. "Ah, young one, not all monsters are what they seem," he said, leaning closer to the table, his cloak swirling around him like smoke. "I have encountered many beings that appear fierce, but are simply misunderstood. Like the great shadow beast who guards the Valley of Dreams, fearsome in appearance, but gentle at heart." Lucy clutched her bunny tightly, entranced by the idea of such a creature. "What happened when you met it?" she pressed. "I approached it with an open heart," Draven explained, his tone dripping with sincerity. "Instead of drawing my sword or showing fear, I offered friendship. In return, it guided me through its territory and showed me wonders I could never have imagined." He paused for effect before adding, "It even gifted me a charm, a small token of our bond." Emma gasped, her imagination running wild with images of shimmering treasures and hidden realms. "Could we meet this shadow beast? Can we see your world?" she asked breathlessly. Draven's smile widened, as if he had anticipated her enthusiasm. "Every adventure begins with a choice," he said mysteriously. But first, one must be brave enough to step through the veil between worlds, a journey that requires trust among friends. Lucy glanced at Anna for reassurance. She felt safe when Anna was nearby. The waitress stood behind them, her protective aura radiating warmth despite the chill creeping back into the room from outside. "Draven," Anna interjected gently yet firmly, her voice steady even under the weight of uncertainty. "What exactly do you mean by stepping through the veil? And what would happen if they came with you?" Draven regarded her thoughtfully, appreciating her cautious nature. "Stepping through the veil means leaving behind what you know to embrace something unknown," he explained slowly. "It is a leap of faith into courage, a chance to explore not only my world, but also the depths within yourselves." Max looked up at Anna apprehensively. "Should we go? What if it's dangerous?" He felt torn between thrilling possibilities and protective instincts. "Adventure is always accompanied by risk," Draven said softly but confidently, as if sensing their trepidation and wanting to reassure them. "But growth often lies beyond fear. When you venture into darkness, you can discover your own light." After a moment of silence filled with contemplation, Emma turned to her brother and Lucy. "We can't let fear stop us from having an adventure," she declared bravely. The fire within her burned bright against impending shadows. Then Lucy piped up hesitantly but determinedly, "I want to see this shadow beast, if it's friendly like you say." Anna observed their reactions closely. She admired their spirit, but also worried about their safety amidst swirling uncertainties surrounding them all, too closely now threateningly alive, just outside those very walls built together within delightful memories, shared lasting bright smiles woven tenderly inside. "Adventure can be wonderful," she said gently while kneeling beside them again, guiding hands resting gracefully on their shoulders, bringing warmth, enveloping reassuring strength surrounding those hearts, nurtured brightly toward limitless ideas, taking flight together beneath skies painted vividly across horizons, awaiting discovery. Beyond shadows, lingering still, beckoning deeper into uncharted realms awaited. Concealed mysteries readying to burst forth alive, promising exploration. "But remember," Anna continued firmly, yet lovingly, gazing deeply into each child's shining eyes, holding hope brightly nestled gently below murmurs rising bold. "We must stay together, no matter what happens next." With nods exchanged between them, sharing newfound resolve together, ignited daring embers, lighting paths stretching forward, inviting possibilities unbound. As they turned back toward Draven once more, invigorated by determination glowing brightly within, their hearts resonating ceaselessly alongside wonder, to uncover whatever lay ahead, darkness lingering merely transformed, awaiting discovery anew, forging through boundaries beyond known worlds, transforming tales anew. And then suddenly, but not surprisingly, came another gust, sweeping through open doorways, brimming wondrous echoes, promising fresh encounters, yet unseen, urging everyone onward, until cool winds danced joyfully entwined, blending against whispers, carrying soft laughter, raised within boundless skies, seeking further tales, eager to tell inviting dreams, aflame anew. The children's resolve solidified within the cozy confines of the happy plate, where the flickering lights cast a warm glow around them, contrasting sharply with the chill creeping from outside. With Draven, the Vampire King, now part of their world, an unexpected bond began to form, one that connected them through shared dreams and whispers of adventure. "Let's make a promise," Emma suggested brightly, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "A pact to be brave and work together, no matter what happens." Max and Lucy exchanged glances, their initial apprehension beginning to melt away under Emma's enthusiasm. "Yes," Let's do it, Max agreed, nodding vigorously. He took Lucy's hand and squeezed it, offering her silent encouragement. Draven watched intently, an amused smile gracing his lips as he saw the strength in their unity. Such a wonderful idea, he mused, his voice smooth and enchanting. But remember, this bond you forge must be strong enough to withstand the unknown that lies ahead. Lucy, still holding on to her bunny, felt a rush of courage. "We'll stick together," she declared, her spirit ignited by both excitement and the warmth radiating from Anna behind them. Anna knelt beside the children, a proud smile lighting her face. "I believe in you all," she said softly, while resting a comforting hand on each child's shoulder. "Bravery doesn't mean you won't feel afraid. It means facing that fear together." Draven nodded approvingly at Anna's words. "Indeed. The most powerful magic lies not in spells or potions, but in the bonds we create," he added with a hint of wisdom in his tone. He leaned closer to the children, his piercing eyes reflecting a flicker of hope. "When you face challenges side by side, there is nothing you cannot overcome." "Together!" Emma shouted, raising her fist triumphantly in the air, causing laughter to ripple through the group. The tension that had filled the diner began to lift, replaced by an air of camaraderie that felt tangible. "Now," Draven said with a playful grin, "are you ready for your first lesson in embracing the unknown?" He gestured dramatically toward the door, as if inviting them into a grand adventure waiting just outside. "What do we need to do?" Max asked eagerly, his earlier fears fading away. "First," Draven instructed, "you must open your hearts to possibilities beyond what you know. Close your eyes for a moment." The children exchanged curious looks, but complied as they squeezed their eyes shut tightly. "Now," Draven continued in a soft yet compelling voice, "imagine your greatest dreams. Where would you go? What would you see? What creatures would you meet?" As they imagined, vibrant images danced through their minds. Glimmering rivers flowing with silver fish that sparkled like stars, immense trees whose leaves shimmered like jewels under the moonlight, and friendly creatures gathering around a fire sharing tales of old. "Can you see it?" Draven prompted gently. "Feel the magic surrounding you, the joy of discovery that awaits." Lucy gasped softly as the images filled her heart with warmth. "I want to see the shadow beast," she exclaimed suddenly, and with that declaration came an exhilarating thrill of fearlessness. "Then let that be your guide," Draven said approvingly. "Let your bond give you strength." At that moment, Emma opened her eyes first, full of determination. "We're ready. We can do this. Together," she declared. When they all opened their eyes again, Draven smiled broadly at the united front before him, a band of adventurers poised on the edge of something extraordinary. Anna clapped her hands together lightly, stepping forward. "I believe in you all," she encouraged them warmly. "Just remember what we talked about. Trust one another and always communicate." With hearts pounding in unison and hands clasped tight, Emma led the charge toward the door. Lucy followed closely behind, her bunny held securely in her arms, while Max brought up the rear with newfound confidence swelling in his chest. Draven stepped aside to let them pass, while casting a glance back toward Anna. "You've raised remarkable children," he said sincerely. Anna smiled back at him, but felt a shiver creep down her spine as she sensed something lurking just outside. The shadows seemed to pulse gently, as if waiting for their next move. As they stepped outside into the cool evening air, an astonishing sight greeted them. Twinkling lights danced along the ground, like fireflies leading a path into the unknown. The faint sound of music floated through the air, a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to beckon them forward. "It's beautiful," Lucy gasped, her fear melting away entirely as wonder enveloped her heart. "Yes," Draven replied softly as he joined them outside under the sparkling sky. "And this is only the beginning." With an unexpected bond solidified between them, one forged through courage and shared dreams, their adventure began anew under sweeping twilight skies filled with stars ready to tell tales yet untold. As the children stepped outside into the cool evening air, they were greeted by a breathtaking sight, a path illuminated by twinkling lights that danced like fireflies, guiding them toward an unknown adventure. The hauntingly beautiful melody they heard before floated around them, wrapping them in its enchanting embrace. Draven stood beside them, his presence both comforting and mysterious. "Now that you have opened your hearts to the possibilities ahead," he said with a glimmer in his eye, "I have a request for you." The children exchanged curious glances, excitement mingling with apprehension at what lay before them. "What kind of request?" Emma asked eagerly, her heart racing with anticipation. Draven took a deep breath as he prepared to reveal what was on his mind. "To truly embark on this journey together," he began, "you must first understand the importance of the bond you forged tonight. It is not just about facing fears or embracing adventure. It is also about helping others along the way." Max frowned slightly, unsure of where Draven was going with his words. "What do you mean?" he asked. "How can we help others?" A soft smile spread across Draven's face as he gestured toward the shimmering lights along the path. "There are creatures in my realm who need assistance. Friends who feel lost or alone. They may be misunderstood or hidden away from those who would love them, if only they were seen for who they truly are." Lucy's eyes widened with compassion as she listened intently. "Like, what kind of creatures?" she asked quietly, her heart swelling at the thought of helping others. "Some may be shy and afraid to show themselves," Draven explained gently. "Others might be trapped by their own shadows, unable to find their way back into the light." He paused for effect, letting their imaginations run wild with possibilities. "It is your mission to seek out these beings, help them find their courage, and guide them towards friendship." Emma felt a surge of determination swell within her as she glanced at her friends. "We can do that. We want to help," she declared boldly. Draven nodded approvingly, his eyes shining with pride at their willingness to embrace such a noble task. "But remember," he cautioned gently, "helping others requires patience and understanding. You will need to listen to their stories and offer your hearts without judgment." Anna stepped forward from behind them, her expression warm yet serious. "That's true," she added thoughtfully. "Sometimes it takes time for someone to trust you enough to share their struggles." She looked at each child in turn, ensuring they understood the importance of empathy in their new adventure. "Are you ready?" Draven asked softly, looking back toward the path they would take together. With renewed resolve lighting up their faces, Emma squeezed Lucy's hand while Max took a deep breath and nodded firmly. "We're ready," they all chimed together. As they started down the luminous pathway, adorned with flickering lights that led deeper into Draven's world, anticipation bubbled among them, the promise of discovery awaiting just around each bend. The air shimmered with magic as they walked side by side beneath an archway, formed by lush vines twinkling like stars above. Friendly creatures peeked curiously from behind trees, swaying gently in rhythm to the music surrounding them. a soothing symphony inviting rather than intimidating. "I can't believe we're actually doing this," Max exclaimed excitedly as he took in all sights around him. The vibrant colors pulsing in harmony, creating wondrous patterns everywhere, stretching infinitely onward, beckoning closer, enriching experiences, waiting ahead. "There's so much beauty here," Lucy added dreamily, while gazing at flowers glowing softly under moonlight. Blooming vivid hues, never seen before alive, against tranquil whispers swirling sweetly, infusing life anew. Crafting connections, unbreakable sewn tenderly through moments shared. All yearning, inviting new friendships, blossoming freshly upon every turn ahead, revealing tales woven bright. Draven observed their enthusiasm with joy evident upon his features. He felt honored guiding these brave souls into realms previously untouched, where lessons lay waiting, eager for hearts filled tender, nurturing spirits. Longing blooms, nestled warm within kindness, enduring, radiating brightly, ever more ready, reaching far beyond grasp. "Stay close," he advised softly while leading them further into delight, exploring. Each step taken felt lighter somehow, carrying hope bound tightly together, striving forward, illuminating even shadows, lingering just ahead, promising warmth, blossoming loud amidst echoes, whispering tales, beckoning always, evermore, guiding safely onward, traversing paths alive, full-fueled forever, stories entwined forever told, still waiting patiently, bursting forth anew. And so they ventured forth united firm, under shimmering skies, inviting endlessly fueling dreams, lighting pathways, magical weaving tapestries, alive, painting colors anew, drawing closer toward whatever joys awaited, beyond horizons fading. Days turned into weeks, and the vibrant energy of the happy plate transformed in the wake of the children's magical adventure with Draven, the Vampire King. What had once been a simple diner filled with laughter and pancakes grew into a hub of stories, imagination, and newfound bravery. Emma, Max, and Lucy became frequent visitors, each time bursting through the door with bright smiles and an air of excitement. Their experiences in Draven's world had sparked something within them, a sense of wonder that spilled over into their everyday lives. The once quiet children were now filled with boundless dreams. Their imaginations soared to new heights as they recounted tales of enchanted realms to Anna and any patrons willing to listen. Anna watched this transformation with a warm heart. She found herself laughing more often and joining in on the children's imaginative games. One afternoon, she even donned a makeshift crown from paper plates and proclaimed herself Queen of Pancakes, much to the delight of her young friends. The diner was alive with laughter, creating bonds not just among the children, but also weaving ties with other regulars who soon joined in the fun. "Let's make a secret club," Lucy suggested one day as the three of them huddled together at their booth. "We can call it the Brave Adventurers." Max nodded enthusiastically. "And we can share all our ideas for new stories and adventures. We can invite Anna, too." Emma grinned widely, thrilled by their new venture. "We can talk about all the creatures we want to help. Maybe we can even write letters to Draven." Their enthusiasm was contagious, and soon enough, more children began showing up at the Happy Plate, eager to join the club or simply to bask in the warmth created by Emma, Max, Lucy, and Anna. The diner became a melting pot of creativity where kids could dream big without fear of judgment. Every corner filled with drawings of fantastical beasts and whimsical maps leading to hidden treasures. One sunny afternoon, while pancake batter sizzled on the griddle, Anna gathered everyone around for a meeting. "Okay, brave adventurers. Today we're writing letters to Draven," she declared, her eyes twinkling with excitement. The children cheered in unison, their faces glowing with anticipation. They began crafting colorful letters filled with updates about their days, imaginary quests they'd been on, and details about how they had grown braver through storytelling and friendship. Dear Draven, Emma started writing fervently. We've made new friends here at the Happy Plate. We want to tell you all about our adventures. We are helping others just like you taught us. As their letters took shape, Anna encouraged them to express themselves freely, gently guiding their thoughts while capturing their creative spirits on paper. Each child poured their hearts out into letters that spoke of friendship, bravery, and kindness. After mailing their letters through the local post office adorned with colorful stickers drawn by Max, they awaited responses with bated breath. Days felt like weeks as excitement mounted among them, all sharing an unmistakable bond rooted deeply in shared experiences ignited during those enchanting nights spent exploring new worlds together. Then, one evening, at the Happy Plate, a night rich with anticipation, the magical event that brought everything full circle arrived. A letter from Draven. The children squealed in delight as Anna carefully opened it for them. They gathered around her like moths to a flame. Draven's elegant script flowed across the page. Dear brave adventurers, I have received your letters with great joy. I am thrilled to hear about your journeys filled with creativity and kindness. In my realm, I encounter many beings who could benefit from your help. People who are shy or misunderstood, still waiting to be seen. I would be honored if you could join me once more for a special adventure where we can all work together. Until then, keep shining brightly. Yours in friendship, Draven. The children erupted into cheers, their hearts swelling with joy at the connection they had forged, not just with Draven, but also among themselves. Should we go back? Lucy asked eagerly, her eyes gleaming. Yes, Emma shouted, clapping her hands together. This is our chance to help. They agreed that they would return to Draven's realm together again. They were ready for whatever lay ahead and equipped with courage rooted in genuine friendships formed right there at the Happy Plate. With Anna's unwavering support and love guiding them forward alongside these newfound companions, they knew this was just the beginning of many more adventures waiting to unfold together. A fresh chapter forever cherished inside joyful hearts, blooming brighter than ever before, steadfastly illuminating their delightful diner world, nestled comfortably beyond shimmering twilight skies, stretching infinitely onward. As the sun set on the Happy Plate, the vibrant energy cultivated by Emma, Max, and Lucy enveloped the diner in a warm glow. Their adventures with Draven, the Vampire King, had forged not only an unbreakable bond among themselves, but also among the many patrons who frequented the diner. The lessons learned reached beyond their personal experiences, echoing through the hearts of everyone who entered. One sunny afternoon, as the children gathered at their favorite booth, the air filled with playful chatter and laughter. Anna joined them, her apron dusted with flour from the morning's busy shift. "What wonderful stories do you have for me today?" she asked, leaning closer with a twinkle in her eye. "We wrote a story about helping a dragon," Max exclaimed, his excitement bubbling over. "We imagined that it was lonely because other dragons were scared of it." Lucy chimed in enthusiastically. "So we showed it that it could be kind, and then we made friends with it." Emma added thoughtfully, "It helped us on our next adventure, to find hidden treasures." Anna smiled warmly at their creativity. "You know, each story you create holds a lesson within it," she said. "Just like your dragon, sometimes things aren't what they seem. Kindness can break down barriers and build friendships." The children nodded, completely engaged in Anna's words. They understood that their adventures in Draven's world taught them not only about bravery, but also about compassion and empathy, values that resonated deeply within their hearts. Inspired by their discussions, the trio decided they wanted to do something special for their local community, an event that would showcase their creativity and encourage others to join in spreading kindness. After some brainstorming, they came up with the idea for the Kindness Festival, a day dedicated to celebrating friendship and compassion for all. As they shared their plan with Anna, her eyes lit up with encouragement. That sounds like a wonderful idea. You can invite everyone to join in activities designed to help others while having fun. In no time at all, Emma took charge of organizing games for kids. Max crafted colorful invitations, and Lucy prepared crafts where everyone could create friendship bracelets to share with others. Every corner of the diner buzzed with anticipation as decorations were hung and preparations were put in place. On the day of the festival, excitement crackled in the air like fireflies dancing under the evening sky. Families poured into the happy plate, drawn by the allure of community spirit, laughter, and warmth. Children bounded through the doors with smiles stretched wide across their faces as they eagerly joined in on activities while parents chatted over steaming cups of coffee. "Welcome to our Kindness Festival," Emma announced proudly from a makeshift stage they had set up near the diner's entrance. The crowd cheered and clapped, a sound that echoed throughout the diner. "Today is all about celebrating friendship and finding ways to help others." Max grinned as he watched families working together. Children partnered up for scavenger hunts and tie-dye stations where they created colorful shirts, filled with love and care. Meanwhile, Lucy helped guide a craft table where children made heart-shaped cards to give to anyone who might need a little extra kindness that day. As each activity unfolded, children formed new friendships while working together on their projects. Realizing that through collaboration, they discovered even greater joy than they could alone. The creative energy flowed freely as laughter danced through the air. Later that evening, as the event came to a close with twinkling lights illuminating warm smiles around them, everyone gathered around for one final surprise. Anna revealed she had arranged for Draven to attend via a spellbound video call. The children squealed with delight when his familiar voice echoed from a small screen set up outside under gently glowing lanterns. "Hello, my brave adventurers," Draven greeted warmly. "I am so proud of what you have accomplished. Sharing kindness is truly magic in itself." The message resonated deeply within each child's heart. They realized that their actions created ripples of change far beyond what they could see. As they thanked Draven collectively through joyous cheers and laughter shared among each other, growing brighter than any moonlit night. An understanding blossomed within them. Together, they had learned that true adventure wasn't confined to fantastical realms, but thrived right at home when spreading kindness forward among those near. Weeks turned into months after that day. Yet every visit to the happy plate continued thriving, alive, bursting bright-filled joy, channeled together, radiantly reflecting warmth, forging strong friendships anew, discovering hearts always calling forth, magnified above sparkly stars shining brightly. Its seeds etched eternally nestled back into infinite bounds, unfurling tender hope. Ultimately, this tale reminded everyone that unique adventures may come from unexpected places, and even ordinary moments can become extraordinary simply by embracing kindness along paths traveled together, creating bonds, nurturing life's compelling journey, further illuminated boldly, courageously pursuing bright dreams, glowing resiliently evermore.